Everybody, welcome back to Newmarket. I'm YUMBL, and I think that our city deserves a nice downtown, high-rise city center. That's always been the goal with this larger, gridded area, and you can see I've started setting the tone here. Let me catch you up to speed on what we've got going on and explain our plans for today. Just for a little bit of context here is one of our original interchanges from an earlier episode. Driving past suburbia, they're going to hit this downtown area, and that's always kind of been the goal with this section. I've roped off this area for some church detail. I've decided on a university building to go there to fill this space, a bit of an office to start the Skyline, and of course this is the Boston Custom House Tower, which is pretty cool. I thought that would be a nice centerpiece for vehicles to drive towards. I also took the liberty of adding a train station. This is the 1890 train station from the Steam Workshop. It's a three-platform, or a three-station track, I would call it. More platforms than that, but 3 station tracks, and I've sunken it to go under these roads. This may change. I might change up the scheme here, but that connects to the external line, so that's going to be a major inlet for traffic moving into this area, is the goal. I'm a big proponent of make a beautiful road network, follow road hierarchy, get your lights right, use roundabouts if you'd like, it's whatever you want. But once you've completed your beautiful road network, make sure to give them every excuse to not use it. Make it walkable, so add things like paths. This whole area is going to be ridden with kind of little parks and paths and ways to permeate from parts of the grid to others, because Sims do not walk across this without a path. That's just a fact. The game does not allow them to. And that's okay, you just have to plan for that. So of course there's going to be walkability from this area into the next area. Transit is another astounding way to keep Sims from gumming up your roads with cars and cargo and things like that. This area, I also intend to have a tram loop that starts here. I'm going to avoid Metro in this city because I think Metro is too easy. Metro is overpowered in real life, and it's overpowered in this game, so the goal here is to give them a bunch of transit options that are not Metro. So things like tram, bus, train, things like that, and also increasing walkability by adding paths here. One more thing to note about the downtown before I start placing more buildings is that I want to face all of these backwards. So when I say face them backwards, I don't actually mean turn the building backwards. I mean, I want to take the spawn point and try to put it on this back road. That's an interesting shadow effect. I want to take the spawn point and face it towards the service road behind. I would love for pedestrians to have access from the street, or from the roadside, the street side. I want people to go to college from the street, but I want the services to all these things: disaster, garbage, hearse, ambulance, fire, police, taxi. I want their spawn point to actually be behind the building. So I'm going to be frequently using building spawn points to ensure that these vehicles are not using the main road to achieve their goals. For now, I'm going to be using the vanilla, just the pavement path, pretty frequently, just to make sure that all these blocks have available walkability for pedestrians. So I'm going to be adding buildings and then making sure that it's walkable. This section is largely going to be plopped, by the way. I'm largely going to be plopping buildings. I foresee zoning high-density stuff into these gridded areas, but if we're really curating a skyline and making it look good and natural, I think it's a much better option to place the buildings by hand rather than relying on zoning to randomly give you the building you want. So it'll be a lot of... Ooh, what is that? Okay, well that's not the one. It's going to be a lot of looking for certain things. Like, let's say I want to do a corner here. This is inspiring me to want to do a corner. I can look for a corner-specific building and incorporate that into the area. And adjust as necessary, of course. So it's kind of like the big version of what we did for our, what I'm now calling historic Newmarket. This is our historic downtown. This area is still going to grow, and it's still happening, but I want it to have a, Salem is to Boston as historic Newmarket is to Newmarket downtown, I guess we'll call it. I'll come up with names for all these areas as well. But let's find some more buildings. Right now we have a lot of residential demand, so I'm going to be looking for a lot of high-density residential to fill out this area. And of course, I've gotten into the workshop at this point. Oh, that's this building. I've gotten into the workshop and I've found a lot of nice stuff. Ooh, maybe this taller building. Let's think about this. Perhaps we use move it and we flip-flop these, and we'll take the taller building and face that towards the street. Another thing that I'm always thinking of is what does the drive into the city look like, or what does the line of sight give you? The second they come off the interchange, that lot is pretty bad. I'm gonna have to fix I'm gonna have to fix how far the camera can see the real model. But coming off the highway, I want this to be a nice shot coming in for newcomers to the city. Let's see. What would complement the college? Also, it doesn't need to all be old buildings or new buildings. I want it to be a mix. I want it to be kind of a flurry of both that look nice. Church office building. This would be good if it's the same size. Ooh. This might be good over here. So we'll have a lot of offices, some commercial, some real downtown looking stuff. I don't want to overshadow that building too much. I still want that to be a centerpiece. Let's see how that looks. No, not for me. Or if anything, I'd put it like over here, perhaps. If it fits. It does not fit. Classic. I'm going to save this one for later. This will be good maybe in the city hall type area. Like that seems like a new modern city hall type thing. So I'm going to hold that off to the side for just a moment. This thing is wild, but I may go for it. It might be a European building. It might be. But it's okay. It would be unique. I almost want to put that facing the street. But I do like them paired together, and I like that their widths combined are the exact 11 units that this set of roads actually is. Ooh, looks good from above too. Bit too much bloom, but other than that, very, very nice. Another trick is take recolor, or what's it called? Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to try to remember the name of this. Let me hover it. It doesn't show a tooltip. Ah! I've used it in previous episodes. Paint it, maybe? Repaint it, perhaps? You can take that and make the buildings a little more cohesive. If they're going to be next to each other, they might as well have a similar vibe to them. Let's find another big building. This is a corner. Anytime I find a corner, I might set it off to the side because corner buildings are going to be very valuable at different times. And really where I'm looking is the growable/Rico section of Find It. And I'll just kind of be scrolling around. Like this area looks like it's going to be wall to wall. If I've picked a wall to wall type building there, I might continue that trend down the way. Or maybe there's a downtown Marriott next to the train station. Yes. All good things. The Marriott, perhaps it goes on the opposite side here. Nope, it doesn't fit. Here, you can stay downtown at the Marriott below the historic Boston Customs Tower. Something to think about. They've got a Starbucks in there too. That's nice. Let's find some more wall-to-wall action. What is this? Metro 31 apartments. Apartments would be nice. I'd like to keep this area largely commercial with some residential areas about. High density commercial. Ooh, the Westin. a competing hotel across the street that happens to be the same exact size. Wow, what are the odds? It actually seems reasonable to me somehow. Of course, this is all subject to change. As things develop, I will move and adjust as necessary. Nice. It looks like the Westin replaced another building that may have been here in the past, and I'm okay with that. They also have a Starbucks, which is not unfair. In a major city, there will be Starbucks, like, not that far from one another, especially if there's a hotel involved. So you get off the train, you see the tower, you see a place you could stay at. More Skyline. More city, more Skyline. I should probably be looking in the Rico buildings more so, because they may show more tall buildings. So this button down here, Ploppable Rico Revisited. Sometimes you gotta click it a couple times nowadays. My buttons are all messed up for whatever reason. If you have a fix for that, by all means let me know. But a nice high-density commercial or office building would make a ton of sense. Ooh. This is going to be a great end piece. Keep that on hand. That's a commercial building. It's called the Cable Building. Very nice. That would be at least as nice an end cap to this area as this type of building is. Excuse me, corner fella. Almost. It's actually perfect for right here. And it's like a dual corner building. And it would wall to wall on the back, I assume. Yep, wall to wall. Wall to walrus. Let's actually move these guys and see how this looks here. In our opening area. Thanks for letting me explain my thought process with all these things. This is just how I approach kind of curating a skyline, I guess. A tall building here would make a lot of sense. Do I prefer it? Honestly, I like it equally. Because it's kind of the same vibe with the water towers and AC units on top. This one's gorgeous. It might even be a European building, but I stand by it. Let's find another tall building. Rico. Brooks building. It's tall, but it's not a skyline maker type building. There we are. What are you? Candler building, probably of New York, I would assume. A lot of these assets are New York City type assets because they have the height that I want. Oh, I have the John Hancock building too. John Hancock is a Boston building. All right, that's Skyline approved. We'll start with that there. Let's look for the Hancock building and see how that fits into this kerfuffle. Ooh, it's not in global / ooh. It's an office building. Oh my god, it's tall as heck. And large. Oh. It is bigger than the allocated space that I expect to use per building, and it's also taller than I imagined. I don't think of the Boston skyline as being overly tall, especially when there's so many other cities up the coast from it. Let's just see what this looks like, just out in the open. Just observe it. It's a very nice asset. It's taller than what I even want for this area, honestly. Unless there's kind of a secondary downtown section. Here, let's see where it fits. Layers. Layers. Oh, this poor church. The poor church just got absolutely owned by this tower. Sorry, buddy. And then some lesser buildings along here. would be gorgeous. This is great. I love the angle that they chose to, or rather, I guess the architects that built the actual building, because that allows us space for a fountain or curbs and bushes and things like that. But I like the idea of layering this. This is also probably 10,000 workers. Oh God, I reduced this building. Originally, this building had 2,800 jobs. This one currently has 9,000. Just until the city gets some legs, I'm gonna reduce this one down to 100 as well. I don't want to induce that much residential demand just yet. Let's say these are under construction. There's 100 jobs available at each of these places, and I'm okay with that. Please do not inundate my town with 1,000 people right now. Let's see. I'm just going to leave this wide open. I think this might be, rather than stressing over what type of building it is, I'm truly just going to look at what works visually. This is a visual thing. This is it's functional, but it's also meant to be visual. Shorter building on the corner, perhaps. I love how I say this is shorter, and it's actually like 56 meters high. It's a shorter building. In context with these other wild guys. Another thing that I do is I look at the skyline from different angles as it starts coming together. It's very good to just see how it looks from different drives into the city. Here we go. This type of building, tall but not too tall. And that would go well on the corner here, on the corner where the church is. Very nice. Wall to wall, different heights. As I said before, I'm not going to be... This is not going to be the way that I do the entire city. But I'd like for there to be a bunch of areas that are specifically curated rather than zoned. Zoning gives you no control over the heights of buildings, no control over anything, really. Oh, no. Sometimes the wall-to-wall buildings are not an exact grid meter amount, and that complicates things a little bit, but we can figure it out in a moment. It'll just take some nudging with Move It. That's that corner building. We already used that one. Ooh. This would be good. I could almost repeat this a couple times and be okay with the result. Let's what's this one called? 22 Cortland. Yep. Let's put a path next to it. And also probably a central crosswalk for this area. But I know that I'm not going to wall-to-wall up against this building. That looks like it belongs with a road next to it. I'm not going to give it a road because I don't want to overdo the connections to the arterial, but I do want to do a path there. And let's fill this section up. Wall to wall. Wall to wall. Some of these buildings will have been used on the other side in Old Town Newmarket, but I'm cool with reusing them over here. No one's going to know. Don't tell anyone. Wall to wall. Nice 7-Eleven. Some nice rotating props on the roof. I do like seeing smokestacks as well. I know they probably mean pollution, but I'm cool with smokestacks. Here's another situation where I want to recolor it or paint it or whatever. Oh, it's already painted. I've already darkened it. Shoot. The tone of the bricks can really be brought out if you darken things a little bit. Not in this situation. Like here, you can really get some red-looking bricks without even making the building red, without repainting it some crazy color. Looks good so far. One building that fits in here would be ideal. Just one. Here's the concession that I'll make with this whole situation. Because this building has an uneven amount, we're going to end up having to kind of wiggle it over up against this building with Move It, and that is okay. We're going to have to balance this area with another couple tallish buildings on this side, I think. Oh, maybe these buildings actually go across the way. Here, let's do this. Trick and move it. Rotate at center. Click the road you want to align them with. It's too wide, but it's okay. It would look nice coming in on the train. They'll be in the gutter. They won't be able to see it, but... Or over here. No, no such luck. Yep, there it is. That is the spot for these. Very good, very nice. Downtown, downtown, downtown. Can we get a chant going? Can we chant it up, please? 22 Cortland is right there. We've already used 22 Cortland. That's okay. In reality, there are definitely these laws and things that dictate sort of the airflow in a city. Or I know in London, they're very line-of-sight conscious, where they've taken their main landmarks and ensured that the sky is available from certain angles, from certain directions. From intersection X, you should be able to see landmark Y. I'd like to respect that here a good bit, as mentioned earlier. Really take our time and ensure that that's how it is. I like that. What kind of building is this? Ah, the ice cube factory, of course. I'm going to have to go through later and make sure that these vehicles with building spawn points, I'm going to have to make sure that they're going to the back of the building. But I like that facing the road, so we will continue on. Now this building, another corner. So we're going to put that there because it seems to want to go there. Sure. Sure, why not? I'll have to paint certain sections in with pavement as well. There's the ice cream factory again. That's that little building. Continuing down. Gas stations. I'm going to have to go around and put down gas stations too. American Main Street would be cool, but it's kind of cheesy. I already used it. Elsewhere. So I'm not going to do it here. It's too easy. I already used that on our actual, like, Americana Main Street on the other side. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't use this, did I? Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to get that little guy out of there, I think. Okay, let's put this in. Delete the little guy. Sorry, buddy. Move this over. That looks very nice at street level. That makes a ton of sense to me. And just go right down the list. There we go. Ah, it's facing the wrong way. I have a lot of buildings that want a corner in the same direction, kinda. But fortunately, that direction is actually this way. So if I allow this side of it to breathe, and then leave the wall-to-wall in, it actually matches up with this one. I'll probably... That fire escape may get covered, but it's okay. It's all for the cause. It's all for the cause. This one, I love the look of this, and I'd like for it to be on the main road visible. There we go. Now, there's a lot of activity here. I haven't planned any parking. A parking garage would really make sense in this downtown area. I'll look into that in the very near future in the workshop. Because you'll notice I have realistic parking turned on, so this place is getting slammed. Absolutely slammed with parked cars. This whole area. Oh my goodness. I wonder if playing the game slowed down is negatively impacting the traffic lights. A trick with traffic lights, I didn't plan on doing any of this, but what I'd like to do is extend the cycles. So extend the... I find that minimum time of 3, maximum time of 8 is the default, which is often fine in a very low traffic area. But I'm actually going to change it to... Which cycle is the one that I want? View. So this first cycle, we are actually going to extend this to like a minimum time of 10, maximum time of 20. And start just to allow the flow to increase from the highway side. I'm going to favor the highway side. And we'll see if that allows the traffic to all get in. There we go. Now it changes. Perfect. The goal with the traffic light, in my opinion, is to clear the intersection every time. As long as the intersection clears and they're not waiting for 2 or 3 cycles, it's probably a good thing. This one probably needs the same treatment, I would tend to bet. But that's okay. I'm less worried about traffic and more worried about getting the buildings in, making adjustments. This one might be better over here. I've got so many buildings. Really, it's just get the darn buildings in. YUMBL, what are you doing? Get your life together. Love it. All these Brooklyn buildings are going to be handy for zoning. I actually have a bunch of wall-to-wall sort of zonable areas. Shorter, but still townhousey, kind of tallish buildings. Ooh. Maybe... Okay, I got an idea. Let's get rid of that one. Get rid of little guy. Sorry, another one bites the dust. And then we'll move this one in its place. Street level, it looks really good. And then we throw in a path in this space, because this is a very long way to not have a connection to the other side. So I'd really like for people to have a way to walk across. I think it's often underestimated how much traffic, where am I? How much traffic you can save by adding walking paths. It's actually absurd how much traffic you can get rid of. Looking good. I may focus on some buildings on the back side of this, or these may become lots of some sort, be it parking or other things. Okay. See what kind of buildings we come up with here. I saw this one. This one was nice. A nice, shorter sort of building. But it's not wall-to-wall. Not every building has to be wall-to-wall, but I do like it when they are. When I intend for them to be, at least. And the Rico here is going to be all over the place. I'm not pulling from any particular type of building. I am just basically going down the list alphabetically and saying, look, this would work. A couple Dunkin' Donuts. Downtown Dunkin'. Welcome to New England. Hey, there's a good one. Put that one here. This building I'd like to brighten up if possible. Nope. Okay. That's life. That's the church office building. We've already put that over there. That's going to be worked in somehow, I suppose. Actually, with the amount of space that it takes up, it might go here and extend the skyline this way. And then maybe another tall building here would make sense. Let's see about putting this guy. Rotate at center to match this road. Oh, could it be? That's not a bad solution either. It's so backwards, but that would not be a bad solution, in my opinion. Covers up the train station, but that's okay. We'll be able to... The train station will have plenty of visibility once we do the thing I want to do here. I'll leave that there for now. I'm not sold on it exactly, but it does not hurt the skyline at all. Let's see. Art Deco Theater. Gas stations. I'm going to have to find a way to work gas stations in at some point. A lot of houses. Ooh, yeah. These two are sort of similar. These are going to be just wall-to-wall things. Oh, let's do that. The church is going to be detailed. Maybe there's something on the back side of these buildings. Oh, but then where are the trucks going to pick up and drop off? All these questions. How about I do a building on this side and then a building on this side? What is that? Oh, this is a industrial steel tank co. I don't mind a bit of old industry around afoot. As long as it looks nice, as long as it looks well considered, well thought out. But while I'm thinking of it, let's find one more tall building that's cohesive to the area. And we'll put it on this side, and then we'll have a vacant lot, and all of the buildings will share the, it's not necessarily vacant, but the lot for pickups and drop-offs and things. Almost. Another almost. How does this one look when it's placed? That is gorgeous! Groceries and dry goods. Love it. I don't like it in that spot, but I'll revisit that later, without a doubt. Something of medium height, similar to that building, is what I'm really looking for. That's nice in a different spot. Okay, and that one is actually also a corner building, which we could choose to put a path in front of. That's a good idea, actually. Let's do that. We'll allow the corner building to be cornered in a good way. You know, as I look at this, I think it's got plenty of vacant lot potential without even adding anything to it. So let's do this. We'll add a walking path that unifies the area. We'll turn all of these around. Let's see how quickly I can do this. I'm going to turn all of the building spawn points to this spot here. And then put a little road in. Check this out. Watch this move. If you hold shift, everything moves faster, which is pretty cool. -90, please. Let's put in the little pavement road here. It's this pavement road that I've been using all over the city. And I'm just going to poke it in there, and this is going to be our service area. There's probably also going to be a taxi system in the city. Or a taxi company, perhaps. And for now, I'm going to leave the taxi spawn facing this also. All things are subject to change, but we're sketching it out right now. That's good. And you. Come with me. The Y axis can go this way. The X can move this way. Turn it around. And boom. We're picking up from the same spot. You. Turn it around. I don't know why it goes to -100 instead of -90. And we're picking up from there. You. Same deal. Bring you back. Turn you around. This is going to keep the main street clear. This is a thing that I've been waiting for. If you saw I made a video in the past called Realistic Intersections in City Skylines. And I went on a big rant about why do trucks, there it is, okay. Why do trucks pull up to the front of buildings? Why is that the way that I suppose the answer is it's designed that way because it's simple. That's probably the real answer, but I've never seen a mall, I've never seen a business that didn't have like a rear entrance, or generally they do. Maybe in cities in tight spaces they might not have a loading dock in the back, but generally I would say they probably do. Cool, that looks really good. And we will fill it in with a little pavement. It's not going to be perfect necessarily. Nope, it is. I take it back. It's completely perfect. Except for that. Don't tell anybody. If I were real smart, I'd also add some dumpsters and stuff. For now, we may come back and do that later. Oh my god, the one... There it is. The one spot. Very nice. So I'd like to have little collections of lots where trucks can come for pickups and drop-offs, and that was just a good example of that there. Okay, thanks for using that as a turnaround. That's just That's something. I wonder why that is. I'll have to figure out, unless it's just repathing because I added a road that they don't expect. Now, another little trick on spots like this to mitigate the traffic. I haven't done this in all areas because I don't know where it's going to be necessary or not. But an asymmetrical road. If you saw the last video about building this grid, then you saw how much I like asymmetrical roads. This will give everyone the option to have a dedicated turn lane. Oh my god, where'd they come from? Oh, until they repath, everyone's going to be coming in from through the buildings. Wild. So you can see here, all the cars that want to go left. Dude! Ah! Okay. There it is. So that's the way it's supposed to function. The lane math here is a bit questionable, and that's probably why it's being funky. But it's okay. As long as the traffic clears out, it doesn't really matter. Cool. And let's keep going. I'm going to put it back on 1 speed. The 3 speed is freaking me out right now. 3 speed, there's so much traffic moving in, so much parking, so many problems that I'm going to have to solve in the very near future. I don't think that the road hierarchy will need to be solved. I think the road hierarchy is spot on. Hey, hello. Hello there. The event hall. This is where the events will be held. Obviously. Obviously. That path was there from a bygone era. I started sketching out paths before I knew exactly what was going on. The perfect path. There we go. Nice. We can add a bit of parking back there. This is another vacant lot, probably. And by vacant lot, I mean, this is what I mean when I say a vacant lot. Another space for pickups and drop-offs and whatnot. How about a logistical lot? That's what it actually is. It's the logistical lot. Because a lot of logistics happen there. This is a spot that's great for bushes. Actually, let's do that. That's not how you spell it. What options do we have? There are certain bushes that I tend to gravitate towards. I like to have kind of a palette. That is the right size. That is the exact right size. And I would call this minor detailing. These are minor details, minor detailing. I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would all stop doing this, actually. Where are you going that you... Oh, they're probably parking. They're looking for street parking. That's what it really is. They're looking for street parking, they're repathing, they're turning around. They're being redonkulous. Alright, more buildings. The event hall was a major success. The bushes are perfect. Upward and onward. 135-degree corner will be useful somewhere, someday, somehow. Little building. I used this in the other area. This one deserves a slightly taller building in the meantime. I'd be comfortable reusing that. We already used it somewhere else, but no one's going to know the difference. Don't tell them. YUMBL repeats buildings. I just don't want them to be repeated on the same block within inches of each other. That's really it. It's that simple. I literally repeated these on the same block within inches of each other. No. No. Thanks for listening to this long-form presentation. You get to hear me lose my mind just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. No. That'll come in handy somewhere. There's going to be some place where I need a 1x1 kind of building. Just not there. Entirely sensible. Entirely sensible. Looks correct. Yep, that all looks good. I wish that this was exactly the space of a path, but then again, who knows? Who knows what could come of this? 2 paths. Yeah, I might adjust that a bit later. Just a little. Or, what if these paths match the road? That might make the most sense. So if this... but I like the order of the buildings. I like that they're dynamic right now. Nope, we're going to leave it like that. That's just the way it is. Another tall building is going to come up in the shuffle in no time. I know it. I'm sure of it. The Skyline isn't done yet. I know that without a doubt. The Skyline is not finished. We already used that one. In Find It, here's a question that I get all the time. You can see I'm using Find It to browse these items. If you hit the old the quick menu there, all of these things are great, but do show the number of existing instances. That's how I'm getting that number 1. I should have put that at the beginning of the episode, probably. But yeah, that was a question that I had to another individual that I noticed. I was like, wow, that's probably pretty handy, huh? And it is. Cancer Research Center. Something tall. Something tall. Not that one. Something tall that's also a building, please and thank you. Almost. This will come in handy somewhere else. Like this side of the street is going to need some stuff on it. Or maybe just one building to take care of the whole thing. I have a few buildings that are kind of longish looking buildings. Forever 21. There we go. Well, that's a really good looking building that doesn't make any sense here, but boy, that'll look nice somewhere else. Contextually, that's another like end cap type building. And once again, another corner. Throw that there as a reminder. Tall. Think tall. That's the John Hancock building. That's fine. Kansas City Board of Trade. Oh. There we go. What is this? The shoe factory? John Deere Plow Building. This might make sense on this side of the street. Like I said, a longer implements, vehicles, wagons. Cool. It's such a weird mix that I've got going here. But it's a lot like the other side, as I said earlier. It's a lot like it's a bigger version of what we did in the old part of Newmarket that I showed earlier. Hello. Hello, yes, yep, both of those. Either of those. Either, neither, both, all of the above. This one thinks it's a corner building too. I just hate the wasted potential. Or I wish that there was like a mirror building button almost. I wish I could just mirror buildings occasionally when necessary. I might actually replace... Let's do this. I got it. I'm going to grab these two and move them over. We'll use them probably up against that building. This tall one can go here. This one will leave a path. And I'm actually going to snug these up together so they make sense. Oh, they're backwards, aren't they? No, they're not. This building wants to be wall-to-walled on this side. But that's not bad. I'm okay with that. Let's just throw a path in, as we do. So the Hilton, or rather the Marriott... What's the difference? I don't know the difference. Has paths on both sides. Let it breathe a little. I guess the solution here is to swap these two. Little problem solving. I'm holding Alt and move it to snap them. Yeah, that's much better. Much, much better. Snap them together. Or rather, no snapping. That looks really good. And then these two can go back up against this building that we've started up against. Nice. Very good. I don't really like this here. That's subjectively, I'm not really enjoying what that's doing for the area. It might even do well on this street here. Let's see what that looks like. Especially since I sort of want to have a tram that comes up through here. Nice. Or here, if it fits exactly perfect. That is alluring. That does have some... That does have something to it. I like it. I like it. Cool. I think I'm going to call it there. That's a nice session of getting some buildings in. Thanks for listening to me talk about this process, and I'm gonna save actually. Don't forget to save, everybody. Now, if you're playing right now while watching this video, please save the game. So things that we still need. I'd still like to do a tram system that goes up and around this area. Okay, we're packaging. Please save. I'd love to do a tram system that goes around this entire section of the city. Starting here, perhaps, and then going up and around and using some of these empty corridors that we have. Rather than the streets, I'd like to put them on these empty corridors and maybe combine with the street occasionally. But I want to stray away from Metro for this. It's just too easy. It's too easy. It's so, like, unfair. Metro is so good. Use Metro in your cities, but just remember, it's so easy that it's beautiful. But yeah, thanks for listening to me talk about this. Thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out. My name is YUMBL. I make 2 YouTube videos a week at least. I stream on Twitch 2 to 3 times a week as well. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I also have a Discord. We have a great Discord community going on, talking about cities and sharing our builds and things like that. I really appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate you watching the video. I will see you next time. I'll see you in the next stream or the next video.